I'm starting the recording because I do want this. I do want this on the record. You're standing. This is so Apostle of Solitude stands for the interview. Is
We do.
what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm on board with
Four dudes
with
looking
standing. No, it's good. I don't feel any pressure at all.
Yeah, right.
No, it's solid. I think this is a totally it's natural.
Yeah.
It's conversational. It'll work.
Totally natural.
Totally natural. Hey, congratulations on 20 years as a band, guys.
Thanks, man. Very appreciate it.
I'm glad that that's brought 2 chairs your way. And hopefully, over the next couple decades, can work through it. But in the meantime, 20 years of the band is a significant.
It's not easy, man.
Achievement. I believe it. Doing anything for 20 years. I've been writing about music for about 20 years now, and there have definitely been moments of what the hell have I done? So let's talk about the European tour that it's Sunday now, but is about to be announced on Tuesday. Right. You have the Sludge, Grand Paris Sludge on April 26th and 27th, and then Desert Fest Oslo is May 10th and 11th. Are those the 2 ends of the tour?
Yes.
Okay, so sort of similar to how you guys did. What was it? It was 2018? Doom over Vienna and Hammer of Doom.
Yeah, we did that in 16 and in 18 when we went over Fest at each end.
Right, but just longer though. This is a longer stretch in between.
It's a bit longer. Yeah, we have I think 14 dates, 7 different countries. We're playing Italy, which we've not played before, Switzerland, Hungary, which should be cool.
Yep. And Norway.
Norway, we've not been to before.
I'm actually studying Hungarian right now. Yeah, that's a great trip. Yeah, I am. It's a wild language, Hungarian. It's
like no other, right?
No, it's endings out the ass. It's you got to find out what's a direct object and what's plural by like picking apart a word. It's insane. You're gonna love the country.
Right
on. But when was the last time you guys were out for like what? That's probably coming on 3 full weeks with travel, maybe. 2.5 at least.
Yeah, from the time that we leave and get back home, it's almost 3 weeks. Yeah.
This will be the longest we've done. We've done U.S. tours of about a week or so, and when we went over to Europe in 16 and 18, I think it was about like a little over a week, maybe.
Yeah, I think most of them, most of the U.S. ones, were around 7 days. I think we may have done some 10 days ones, and then the European tours, are usually about 10-ish days. You get 8 or 9 shows, but you're gone for about 10 days. So this would be cool. Yeah, this would be nice to, hang in there a little bit longer. And it always sucks when you get about halfway through the tour and you start to hit your stride and you're like, I wish we could just keep doing this for weeks on end. But so it'll be cool in that sense, that we get to enjoy it for a little bit longer than we normally do.
Yeah, stretch out a little bit, right? I mean, I know, everybody's got lives and families, jobs, whatever, other things outside the band. What goes into planning the longest tour at this point in the band?
Well, a lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
I would
Everybody
think.
kind of has their role, like as far as like what they're doing. Like he's the one talking. Corey's talking to the booking agent, and I'm doing some shit with the flights. Marshall's doing some shit with where we're going to park the van at the fucking airport. Steve will fuck around probably with some flyers or tour posters or fucking event, shit. So everybody's kind of got their lane, and so if one person were doing that, it'd be a lot. But luckily, we spread it out.
The first 2 times we went over, we did it all ourselves, and totally DIY. Just each of us would reach out to somebody and organize a date and talk about a guarantee and a place to stay and a meal. And then this is the first time that we're going through a booking agency, so it's been a little bit easier in that regard, so that we're not having to book individual dates.
Talk to 12 different promoters and
I would think DIYing it abroad is would be tough.
It's tough.
I mean, especially if you're not there all the time doing a month at a time and all that. So
and the language barrier sometimes, yeah, you know, I mean, it's not, you know, impossible by any means, but it can be tough because you want to make sure you're on the same page about fucking date and a guarantee and you know shit like that. So going through the booking agent does help a little bit with that because he's the point man on everything, and you give him a percentage and he does everything else. So that part's cool.
Are you doing anything for sort of the shows just to mark the anniversary? Anything you're breaking out? Anything special for 20 years?
We're trying to hit on every record or every era. You know what I mean? If
Kinda
we
do that
can.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I know, right? I don't know. I think we're gonna do some shirts that that'll
That's
you know
good.
mark.
I could use a new one.
Yeah, right.
We'll
Uh,
have some tour shirts over there, and we talked about maybe doing some shirts available on our website before the tour to try to get some money for plane tickets and gas and tour expenses that we'll need.
Get you off the ground. Yeah.
Reasonable.
I don't know if we'll have any. We have tons of new material, but none of it is complete enough to play it out. So I don't know that we'll have enough time to get a a new song completed. But if we did, we would probably at least consider throwing it in the mix. But I don't know if we'll have time to finish a song that we feel comfortable enough playing out. But that would be it.
Come on,
Yeah.
you could wing it. You'll be fine.
Yeah, we probably could wing it. Yeah, they've never heard it before, right? They don't know.
That's it. It's new. You fuck up, who knows?
They don't know.
They're not gonna call you out anyway.
Right.
All right. Well, new stuff. Yay, new stuff. That's cool. You guys, I looked back at least for the last few couple records, and you guys have a tendency to do a long tease for albums, right?
Yeah.
Like it might it's like, hey, we're working on new stuff. It might be like 2-3 years.
Yeah, guilty. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
So
I think that's mainly because we are always busy. We're always playing shows, or everybody's also in other bands. So that's really what kind of drags it out because we get together almost every single weekend and mess with shit and make progress on stuff. But again, like you said earlier, everybody's got lives and all that kind of stuff. So it takes a while, man, to get it ready enough to, okay, now we're going to record it. And then of course, once you record it, it's a process before it actually even comes out,
when is it ready?
When will a new record be ready, or when
No,
do we?
I mean, when are songs ready? Like when
I don't know. What do you think, Steve?
They're never really ready.
Right. I think you're at a point where you're like, that sounds pretty cool. We could keep fucking with it, but
We're gonna finish this when we get there.
When we're at the studio.
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm,
I think the secret sauce is if you wait 2 or 3 years, you're gonna like it so much more. It's a really people are like waited so long for it, it's gonna go down that much easier. You can't not like it. If we did too fast, there's no
you're saying an album every year wears out the welcome.
I think it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's, I don't know. There's so much stuff to do in the world. You know what I mean? So many things, so many distractions. And if you're constantly pumping shit out, you know what I mean? What you did 2 years ago, oh, they've already forgotten about that. If you kind of spread it out a little bit, instead of putting out fucking 20 records in 20 years, maybe cut that in half or in a third, and maybe people will, pay attention a little bit more. And it's,
we actually talked about doing EPs instead of records, full lengths.
How come?
Because everyone's attention span is too short.
Yeah, that's definitely my opinion is for when unless it's a classic band, when somebody puts out a record, it's like 10 or 12 songs, it's awesome, but shit moves so fast anymore that it feels like you really only pay attention to about 2 or 3 of those songs, and the rest just kind of get lost in the ether. And especially as a band, you never even play them again. You don't, you know what I mean? You never even play those songs. So you spent so much time creating these, whatever, 10 or 12 songs, and you really only end up ever sharing, maybe if you're lucky, half of them. So why not just focus on whatever, 4, 5, 6 really good songs, and then when you go to play out, you can play all that release, you can play the entire release and some other ones. But if you're putting out 10 or 12 songs every single time, you've probably got 50 songs that you'll never play again.
It's true.
What for?
Just do an EP, 2 9-minute songs every 2 years.
There you go.
Okay.
Just like 18 minutes, so it'd be 9 minutes a year.
You build the catalog, chip away
But they're
at it.
gonna remember that. They're going, yeah, you remember that one song they put out that one year?
Hit 70 years old and you'll have 3 albums out and you're like, wow, this is taking a long time.
Yeah.
That's a joke. I don't know.
No, you're not. No. It could work. I don't know. Shit, man.
No.
Bands, you could do that. I don't know if I necessarily agree.
Right.
With the theory. It would be an interesting way to work.
Right.
I would be curious how it would pan out, because from my end, what I see all the time is like EPs just get passed over.
They can. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's super easy to ignore an EP. I know I inadvertently do it all the time when people are like, hey, check out my EP. And I'm like, yeah, I'll catch the album. So,
Yeah, right.
I mean, so there is that. But yeah, I mean,
But if you treat it more like a record. And when Steve says EP, I don't know what his definition, but mine would be at least like 4 songs. You know what I mean? Or the length of the material, at least like
right. I mean,
hour.
I was going to say 4 Apostle songs. I mean, you're kind of working your way toward an album there anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
What is the technical definition of an EP though?
There isn't one. There isn't one. I usually go by, if it hits half an hour, it could be a record, could be an album. Rain and Blood is 26 minutes long.
You just said
So
what
it's
I was
an
about the
EP.
point I was going to make.
No,
Yeah.
They just
Definitely an album. Definitely an album. So it depends on the case.
It's out, right?
Yep.
Some of the best fucking records, man. They're just a little over 30 minutes long.
Absolutely.
think how awesome that album would be if each of those songs was 9 minutes.
Not
Not much more awesome. You hit it and then it hits you, it hits you, it hits you, and then you're like, oh.
and then that's your afternoon. There you
Right.
go. But, yeah. Anyway, so you said a bunch of new stuff, not really songs yet. I'm gonna guess that once you guys sort of come back from Europe, the plan is to kind of settle into finalizing that stuff.
Barring offers to do, really cool shit. Yeah, that would be that's always kind of how we have treated it. Like, we write, and then if there's chances to play, we do that, and then when we're done doing that, we go back to writing, and just back and forth. I mean, we never really just don't do anything. We're doing one or the other. We're either planning for a show or writing material.
Any sense of when you would be ready to record? Fall?
You guys think?
That would be sweet.
Yeah, fall would be nice. Yeah,
Fall,
you're very
early-
optimistic.
Early winter, maybe.
I think that would be optimal.
Yeah.
Fall 2025.
Right? Yeah, you didn't specify the year. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Fall this year would be cool, and it is possible. Yeah, again, if you're going by the approach of not worrying about, well, we got to get 10 songs, just get whatever 35 minutes worth of material, and if that feels like a record to you, then let's go fucking record. We'll see.
I think that go ahead.
Like an hour's worth of material and then break it up and do 2 albums and then spread them out with the release dates.
I wouldn't
I
be
think you
opposed
should
to
do
that.
2 albums worth of material, make 1 album.
A lot of bands do
That's
that.
what most bands do.
Yeah.
That'd be
Right.
nice to
So
be able
you
to do that.
If
So
you've got the stuff, chip away, chip away, chip away. I feel like that's
use your illusion you're talking about? Or are you saying
no.
How
That
about-
is,
how about
that is not what I meant.
all the rest will be on the cutting room floor?
Or the special edition, anniversary edition, 10 years later.
Box set.
The shit you try to sell to people is really good, but in reality, it's the shit you left on the cutting room floor because it wasn't very good.
I know, but it's
Check this stuff out, guys. You should totally buy this.
Well, typically,
no, it's always a hard sell.
it gets to the studio, it's not going to be cutting room floor material, hopefully.
Same
So
thing. It's also more expensive to do it that way, because it's
True.
expensive to fucking record. So if you're going and you're trying to cut, 15, 20 songs, that's a lot of fucking money, man.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And something's got to give. So when you don't have a huge budget, you're gonna start I think you're going to start settling on shit that you're like, well, that's good enough because we got 5 other songs we got to record. I would rather focus on 5, 6, 7 songs and be able to spend as much time as we want on them than to do 2 or 3 times that and then feel like, well, I really wanted to try this sound out on that, or I really wanted to try this part out, but we ain't got time. We ain't got the money.
Fair enough. With a couple years distance from it, how do you feel about Until the Darkness Goes?
Yes.
I mean, Marshall, I know you weren't on the record, but
Ask him.
but if you have an opinion on it, I'd love to hear it, man. I'm all
I still like it just as much as the first day I heard it.
I still
have
like
you heard
it. I still like it. I'm proud of it.
Yeah, I even know how to play some of the songs. It's cool.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. Yeah. That's fortunate. I hear you're going on tour for a while.
Yeah. Good plan. Solid plan.
Yeah. Apart from this interview and the Apostle of Solitude t-shirts, what are some of the highlights of 20 years of Apostle of Solitude?
Corey?
Highlights. I don't know, man. It's been a ride. I mean, obviously the 2 tours to Europe in 2016 when we went. I don't know. Chuck has played in bands, and Steve and Marshall too. These guys have played in bands longer than I have. And when I first started jamming with Chuck, my goal at that time was I thought it would be awesome if I played in a band and had a demo that I could give to my buddies and stuff. So I never really imagined that we would go on tour and go to Europe and do albums and stuff like that. So there's a whole bunch of highlights, to be honest with you, over 20 years.
Some of the highlights too are just for me are some of the stupid shit that happens. Every band has, they have, whatever road stories and shit like that. So some of that stuff is that's some of the highlights, when you go out and stupid shit happens or ridiculous shit, driving in a snowstorm or being woken up in a hotel. This was forever ago. We had a hotel and there, for whatever reason, I don't know, it was 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. That's when the trash guy comes by and fucking picks up the huge dumpster and he's out there just banging it on the ground. Everybody fucking shoots up out of bed. What's going on? That's a highlight. That was pretty fucking funny, Steve, I don't know. You got any highlights like that?
Thinking about
Steve's
20 years of being in a band and the trash dumpster was
That was a highlight.
one.
The other highlights, okay.
one among many not trash related highlights.
Hammer of Doom twice. That was fucking awesome.
There you go.
Doom over Vienna.
Yeah.
Maryland Doom Fest. That's been a highlight. The 3 times I think that we played that fest.
Yeah.
Mike Smith, the fest that he's done up in Wisconsin. Those are always a highlight.
Days of the Doomed. Yep. I remember those.
Those were awesome. Yeah,
Templars of
done
Doom.
well.
Back when we did that.
Oh yeah.
The fest that McCash put on.
Yeah.
I think all the relationships that you've made with promoters and other bands and venue staff and just the general friendships overall are the highlights for me, lifetime friendships.
Yeah.
Basically.
Agreed.
But there's nothing like being in a van with your buddies. Acting
Good time, yeah.
Clowning around and making each other laugh until it's not funny anymore. And then you're stuck in a van with these dudes.
For another week. Yeah. Sometimes the jokes get stale pretty quick and you're like, okay, now what do we do?
We'll do that in a couple months.
And van smells.
Oh yeah. Oh dude. Fucking like a gym sock.
Yeah. It's ups and downs.
Yeah.
My highlight's just to be going on the tour and hanging out with these guys and playing music.
How has it been for you sort of stepping in?
I feel like it's been pretty smooth. I mean,
It has. Yeah.
they could probably
We hit the ground running.
vouch more for that. I've got quite a bit of experience, so I was able to jump in and just learn some stuff, and we played some shows to get me going, and now it's business as usual.
Yep.
Did you know when you joined that this tour was kind of in the works?
Yeah, it was
Was it?
potential for sure.
Yeah.
Talk we didn't know when it would happen, but
Right. If not the actual dates, but yeah.
Yeah. Because that's always kind of in the back of our minds, like we're doing this one, but at the same time, but I don't know about the rest of the guys, but I'm kind of thinking, okay, well, if we did a record this time, maybe we could go back over and around this time. So we're always kind of, ahead, you know, I mean, like when would be, okay, if we go this time and we record it this time, you know, when would we go again and stuff like that. So cool. I don't know where I was going with that.
No, I was gonna let it go.
I'm not sure. I just kind of meandered on that one, but
It's fine, man. That shit happens to me all the time.
Right.
All the time. I like, you start out talking about one thing and it's like, oh, and then you get a thought and you interrupt yourself, and then all of a sudden you're lost. It's like,
yeah.
is that hourly? Yeah. It's I take medication for it. It doesn't work. So, okay. Let me ask, we asked for highlights and lessons learned in 20 years of dooming with Apostle of Solitude. Many sad songs, much head banging, all of this. Lessons learned, sort of beyond redoing the art for Last Sunrise. What do you got?
We stand by that, by the way.
I also thought the cover was fine.
Thank you.
I think
No
people thought way too
Despite
much
the
into it.
striped shirt.
Yeah.
Did people complain about
Oh my God. Yeah. You would have thought we. I don't know. You
Yeah,
would've
people
thought we
were
put-
pissed. Yeah.
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 They were like, "What the f- is this?"
I'm trying to tell the guys, it was before I was in the
Pretty
band.
somber. Two people blowing their heads off. I thought that
I helped.
sent a message.
I did the layout for the first record, but my computer took a shit, so I couldn't help on the second, and we see what happened.
And we see the result now.
So,
Failure.
yeah, so they're like, please join the band, fix this.
You see, she still hasn't fixed it. You see, we still have that terrible cover, and he hasn't given us a new.
As far as lessons learned, though, I don't know. I think we learn all the time. Anytime we go out and do something new, we learn, do this
Yeah, yeah.
next time or don't do that next time.
So what's it? Don't do that next time.
Don't let Chuck order McDonald's from his app on his phone.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
that was an experience. It'll take you 45 minutes to get
That's-
2 Big Macs.
That was my 20-year favorite memory.
Yeah,
Sitting in
for no reason. We don't know why, but I'd already paid, so I wasn't leaving the line.
Oh yeah, hell no. No. You gotta
They got my money. They
That's
got
it.
my Big Mac.
the drive-through. I gotta get my points.
Yeah.
Oh. They're busy though.
Hey, you got a Big Mac out of that
So,
though.
I didn't eat that night. Oh, you made me eat it because you didn't eat it. All right.
Yeah, I only ate the one. Yeah.
I think JJ, it might sound cliche or whatever, but I think what keeps us grounded and why we just keep doing this just because we like it. We like each other. We're all friends and it's fun. So we're not trying to like do the next thing, you know, or whatever, make it big or whatever.
Yeah.
We like what we do and we like the songs that we make for us. So, and we like spending time with each other. So that's why we do it.
Real question is, have we learned it all? Because we're still doing it. And we haven't hit the big time. So it's more or less like the gray area of why are we still doing it? But you know,
because you
comes
love it, god damn it.
in the
Right?
blood.
I mean, isn't that the answer?
Because you like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
that
Right?
is-
It's
that is-
because it's what you gotta do. It's what you do. Right? After a while, doesn't it just become a part of your life?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so interwoven in everything you do. If you just took this away, that would be like somebody losing their job that they've been at for 20 years or leaving whatever, wherever they move or something like that. It's what it would be like. It's so woven into what all of us do every week.
That's it. And you know what? It's nice you can all get together in the basement. Not everybody is so
Yeah, yeah.
local. It's you know, I look, you know, seriously, don't discount that because that's huge fucking value to your life having that
Yep.
collaboration right there.
Really is.
So I want to give Marshall the last word. I'm gonna go because my family's gonna come home and be very loud in like 2 seconds. It's always the clock, man. Always the clock. Marshall, I want to give you the last word and talk about sort of not only coming into the band, but what you're looking forward to about the tour, what sort of you feel like you bring to the band on bass and the dynamic, and what you're looking forward to about being an Apostle of Solitude going forward.
Okay. I mean, coming into the band was a pretty smooth thing for me. I would probably lay it out there that I was probably just waiting in the wings for a long time. And I got lucky that my needed to step away. Because I hadn't had like a full-time band for a couple years, which was, so it was perfect timing for me because I ended up in a different employment situation, had a lot more time to devote to it. So it's been really exciting for me just to be able to spend more time with these guys and play the music. As a bass player, I always like try to focus on playing what's the right thing to play with the song rather than like what's the coolest, fanciest thing I can do, because I think I have the ability to do a lot of that stuff too. And like these guys are pretty good about telling me when I've got out of my lane or like when they want me to do a little bit more and stuff like that. So that's pretty easy. I don't have an ego about it. So like I'm pretty easygoing guy. And I do it for the same reasons as they do. I just like to have fun. It's an ingrained part of my life. I don't do it for any sort of success. I mean, anybody who plays this type of music, has pretty much it laid out for them how successful they're going to be in the grander scheme of the music world. And nobody probably does it for that. If we did, we'd be writing 3-minute pop songs. So, yeah, it's a good time.
So it worked out pretty well. Marshall actually joined Double to Pay,
Oh.
and we were working on new material. And when Mike decided he needed to step away, so rather than jump through hoops to try to find somebody, we're like, "You want to do it?"
Yeah, well, why
And
not just do this
he's
too?
like, yeah,
Nice.
so worked out really well.
Yeah. So I went from no bands to 2 bands.
That's pretty good, man. That's a good trade. Nice.
Yeah. One last thing I want to say before we take
Please.
off is just a thanks to all the guys that have played in Apostle. Brent, Justin, Bob, who's no longer here, Dan, and even Matt from Devil to Pay stepped in for like a show before. Thanks fucking to all those dudes, man, because they helped get us, to this point where it's cool. We get to go to Europe and we get to fucking make records and stuff, and all those dudes had a hand in all that. So, and now Marshall, so
when we do the 20th anniversary show, all those guys gonna step back up on stage?
well, that's something we can talk about. They might. I don't know. We'll see though. But seriously though, yeah, thanks to all those dudes, man, because as cliche as it is, we couldn't have done it without those guys, being a part of it. So thank them.
Sure.
Fair enough. All right. Thank you guys. I'm going to stop the recording. Hang out just 1 second.
Okay.